You want to grow your fashion and lifestyle brand in 2024 and keep ahead of the curve. If that's you, this video was made just for you. Today, I'll share consumer and retail trends for 2024 and explain why I think these are things that you need to be paying attention to in your business, why they've worked for clients in the past year, and how they've helped them to increase their profits. I'll be sharing 3 strategies to try, plus stay till the end to learn about one method that is staying firmly in 2023 because its days are over. It is not performing as well as it used to. Hey there, it's Vicky here, founder of The Fashion Business Coach, and I love helping brands to grow strategically and increase their profits by doing so. I've helped clients to collectively earn millions in sales and, more importantly, doing it in a way that doesn't require more all the time. We're not talking about more content, more social media channels, and just more on your plate. We're really focusing in on the things that are working really well and leveraging those to their maximum potential. If you want to learn more about how I help clients to do that, I'll put some details below this video where you can get in touch and learn more. The first consumer and retail trend that I'm noticing for 2024 is that community is something that people seem to be craving more than ever. Possibly this is some kind of hangover from COVID or lockdown or too many Zoom meetings, Zoom fatigue, whatever it might be. But more so than ever, people are wanting to connect with people. They're wanting to feel seen and heard and understood and just have that option to reach out to like-minded people who get them. And these days, it's something that we're seeing past the traditional Facebook group or local group that we may have seen in the past. Brands, retailers are really getting involved with this too, mixing in their unique storytelling, their unique point of view, and seeing amazing results from it. Most of the clients that I work with typically have a very specific niche. If they don't have one, that is one of the first things that we are going to be working on because it's incredibly important. So when I think back to the last year and the community element that's been in some of the brands that I've worked with, it really shows that it's something that can work throughout different demographics, different target audiences. We've had everything from racket sports, which maybe arguably is something where you would expect an element of community, but we've also seen community working well with retailers who cater to the mindfulness community, the brands who cater to people wanting to dress like a princess, and also the ones who are making an Olympic bid to have netball included as part of the Olympics. And FYI, they have a great chance and it totally should be in the Olympics. But I digress. The sense of community that's come across in all these different kinds of niches that I've worked with. Yes, as we said, sports is probably something where you would expect community, but when we're talking about things like breath work, where we're talking about yoga, usually independent things, being a princess, not usually something that we would see in the adult market so much, but there's this incredible sense of community that's been created amongst brands and something that you should be paying attention to as a retailer. As well as it being an amazing thing to offer a community and a safe space for people in your community, in your audience, it's also got a business angle to it as well. Consumers who are taking part in community are more invested in the brand hosting that community and therefore more happy to support them. We're finding that people in these communities don't shop around for the best price or the best deal or the best offer like they may do ordinarily because they feel so loyal to that particular brand and community that they are a part of. So bottom line is that community breeds loyalty, and we all know how important customer loyalty is and returning customers. According to Outbound Engine, the success rate of selling to a customer that you already have is 60 to 70%, while the success rate of selling to a customer who is brand new to you is only 5 to 20%. So on this basis, you are at least 3 times more likely to sell to an existing customer. And this is something that I've seen at time and time again with my consulting clients as well. To give you an example of one brand that I worked with recently, working with them, I was able to increase their returning customer sales, so their customer loyalty, by 320% in only 2 months. So really leveraging community, really creating this amazing space for people that's going to benefit them in their lives and also have this added sales effect is just an amazing thing to do for your business. If you want to chat more about making this happen, how we can create that kind of returning customer sales for your business too, I'll put a link to contact me in the description. The second consumer and fashion retail trend that I have noticed lately is that many people are making more conscious buying decisions and investing in quality pieces rather than purchasing fast fashion and cheap items. It's important to know with this that this kind of purchase requires a longer sales journey, simply because it's more of an investment, more of a purchase that people want to think about rather than something that is impulsive. Therefore, we need to make sure that as a business, we can connect with customers at multiple touch points. And that doesn't have to mean being on a bunch of different social media channels channels. There are other ways that we can do this. And it's important that we have a really dialed in follow-up strategy to our sales process as well. To give you an example, today I got an email from a brand that I personally follow as a customer, and they sell sports products, sports accessories. And I'd not heard from this brand in what felt like forever. Admittedly, I get many emails, and so it was probably 2 weeks realistically. But to me, that felt like an infinite amount of time. So much happened in my life in that 2 weeks, as does in any consumer's life these days. And the reality is I couldn't really remember much about them. And I got this message, it was a 1-day flash sale. Now, I'd be super curious to work with that business and know how that went, but instinctively, I would say that it didn't work particularly well, because if you're not having regular contact with customers, if you're not building up those multiple touch points with a particular consumer, chances are if you send a 1-day flash sale, it's just not going to be enough time for them to make that purchase. And particularly in this case where the product is $200 to $300, it is something that does require a little bit of thought. It's not an impulse like, oh, I got this email at 4 o'clock, sure, I'll buy it by midnight. There's usually a little bit more nurture, a little bit more information that needs to go into that. So the takeaway is that we need to have a longer ramp up period for any product releases, for any sales, any promotions that are coming up, and also to really lean in more to that nurture content, be giving to customers first, whether that is something entertaining, educational, something that will help them in some little way. We need to really lean into that and have a longer period of that before we go into a heavy promotional period. And also allow that extra bit of decision time. Is 24 hours long enough to help people to make the correct decision for them? Possibly not, particularly if you are in that premium price range and you've kind of neglected your audience a little bit. So also have a think about having longer periods of sale before promotions end to give people the chance that they may need to get all the information from you, especially if your customer service isn't particularly fast. We want to give people time to ask a question and get a response from you as well. This is especially critical right now where we're in an economy that is more cautious with their spending and more conscious about where they're investing their money as well. I would love to know in the comments, is follow-up and creating systems for the back end for the sales processes something that you're implementing in your business? I'm curious because when I chat to clients or prospective clients, a lot of the time it feels like all of the energy is on this kind of front-facing marketing, these social media posts primarily, but they spend very little time on those back-end systems that do a lot of this selling. So I'm curious as to how that looks like in your business, and if you'd want to share, I would love to chat with you about it. The third consumer and retail trend that I have noticed is the need for experiences. In 2024, yes, this is something that has been around for a little while. Particularly, I've seen people talking about this in a brick and mortar retail capacity, that there needs to be more experiences in order to bring people into store. And that is certainly still true. I would say 99% of retailers in brick and mortar just simply haven't paid enough attention to this and created enough buzz so that people are driven into the store. I just don't think that's happening enough. But additionally within that, I think it's something that we need to start focusing on as digital retailers and in our online platforms as well. So I do think we need to bring this element of experience to online as well as focusing on it for our brick and mortar. Last year, fashion and lifestyle clients of mine saw a lot of success with things like online selling events, like live shopping events, retreats, and even like live week-long sort of market type events. And the great thing as well is this will tie also back into that point one that we made about community. There can be a community aspect to these live events as well if you would like. And these kind of events work simply because a lot of consumers have been burned by the huge number of dodgy brands that have been popping up, particularly during the pandemic. We saw a huge number of new businesses pop up during the pandemic. And yes, a lot of them were legitimate and trying their best, but sadly, there were a lot who just didn't do a great job, either because they just kind of rushed into it and they were a bit clueless about it, or some of them just did go into it trying to be dodgy. So the reality is we have this audience right now who, as we spoke about with the economy, they are more cautious with their purchases, but also they're cautious from having bad experiences with retailers that they have tried. You know, I can go to any number of family members or friends and they've all had some sort of situation in the last couple of years where they've purchased from a brand, they were excited about it, the product came and it was not as described, or it was terrible quality, it was hard to return, or in the worst case scenarios, they had their credit card details stolen. So there's a lot of dodgy businesses out there that actually look incredibly good and believable. So it means that our job as retailers has got that bit harder because we need to work more into getting people to trust us, because if they don't trust us, they're not going to purchase from us. So live events offer this amazing opportunity for people to see a real person. Maybe it's you as the owner, maybe it is a team member, but it's going to be real people, real life connection, leaning back into number one again. And it just helps with that all over know, like, and trust factor. It's a lot harder to fake that kind of energy, that kind of event. And when you're seeing people in the audience as well having these participations, that can help. Yes, I know it's not totally foolproof, but it does go a big way into developing that trust factor that is so key. Another plus to these is just generally the excitement on the day, and also the build up to the event really helps to get more attention for your brand, drive sales on the day. People are kind of buying into this experience. I know from my own perspective, when I attend these events, I always spend more than I would if I was just browsing the website on any given day. And I've seen the results from clients as well. And one unexpected thing that when I started trying this out in the past year that I didn't expect to happen was that we're also seeing business growth long term as well off the back of these events. I really didn't expect to see much of an impact on this after sort of the first week or so of running an event. I thought that would be kind of the key moment that week or so of running an event when we would see the increase in the benefits of running it. However, what I found when tracking this is that we're actually seeing that people who first discovered our brand or first participated in some way with our brand, first raised their hand in some way for our brand, they are maybe not ready to purchase on that day for any number of reasons, but we're seeing sales come in from these people weeks, even months after they participated in this event. So it is contributing to long-term growth as well. Somebody doesn't necessarily have the cash to purchase today, or they don't have the need to purchase today. If you're in a very specific niche, some of them are very seasonal. For instance, I worked with the wedding industry for a long time in the events business. Obviously, summer was our prime time. So sometimes it's just a case of nurturing that relationship until the person is ready and or needs to make that purchase. So it was really nice to see that longer term impact of these live events as well. And honestly, they're not as difficult to organize as you may expect. It was actually pretty straightforward. So again, let me know if you want help with any of this and I would love to chat with you. And I promised you a bonus strategy that I'm leaving back in 2023, and that is using bots for customer service. Yes, I know AI has come an incredibly long way and it can have amazing impact on our businesses and saving us time as well, but it is not something that I think should ever replace customer service, particularly when you are selling premium products or at high ticket. I think you need that level of experience. As we've talked about, experience, community, trust, all these things. I just don't think that with an automated bot for customer service, you are getting those things. So yes, I still love automations. I still use AI in my business, but in terms of having it as a customer service solution, I think honestly it is worth spending the money on having a professional rep for your business who understands your products, lives and breathes them, loves them, is passionate about them, and can really take the time to ask questions of any inquiries that come in to make sure they fully understand the inquiry, understand what the customer is after, and make suggestions. And I think that is a really great way to not only increase sales initially, but build that customer loyalty and increase that all important average sales value as well. So there's a huge amount of benefits to using real people for customer service and leaving the bots to other elements of your business. To quickly summarize the key consumer and retail trends for 2024 that I think you should take advantage of. First up, we talked about creating a community with your brand, making sure that you have an inclusive space where people can feel seen, heard, understood, and be able to interact with people on your team and people in the community as well. Embracing the longer decision time that is required in many cases and adding in follow-up strategies and sales systems in your business to capture people while they are making those decisions and giving them all the information that they need to be able to make the right decision for them. And finally, we want to be creating excitement, buzz, and trust with live events. So 3 things to try there that honestly are very easy to implement. And frankly, I find it considerably easier and easy breezy to run these things versus the constant need to be posting on social media. That's not to say that you shouldn't be doing social media, but if you're wanting cash injection into your business, I would be looking at these strategies rather than getting caught on this constant hamster wheel of content creation. If you need help with any of this at all, I would love to have a chat with you and see how I can help you to grow your profits. Again, I'll pop the details in the description so we can chat about that and see how I can help you. If you're watching on YouTube and you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe and like the video. It really does help the channel, and it will give you notification when my next video is out on Tuesday, which is about AI tools that can help you to grow your fashion brand. In the meantime, I'll pop a link to a couple other videos here for you. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.